Jason Sterling. This video is brought to you in conjunction with the EA Creator Network. I mean, kinda. It kinda is. I'm actually using the Castle Estate pack or kit, and normally I would have gotten that free from the EA Creator Network, but there was a problem this time, and I ended up just going ahead and buying it myself. And so I didn't really need to put that disclaimer, but I did. Out of habit, but no, I did buy a castle kit this time by myself. Broke down, spent that $5. I was tired of waiting. I really did want to... so I'd already started on this building, right? Just base game stuff, other pack stuff. And I thought, I really want to get the castle stuff into it. And yeah, I got tired of waiting. So... we're going to take a look here at the penthouse for this particular build. Let me pull it up here. I'm going to just stream for a little while today, and then I'm going to stop and feed my son some lunch and do some laundry and clean dishes and the usual weekend, blah, blah, blah. Sunday is the first day of my weekend. I work Tuesday through Saturday. Now, this is the Bradbury building. I started to make this little joke in my head that they call it the Bradbury building because it's where they buried Brad, right? So somebody somewhere buried Brad, probably in like the Cornerstone or something, like the Mafia did. So it's called the Bradbury building. That's not really true, though. It's actually just, vaguely inspired by the Bradbury building in L.A., mostly the courtyard in the middle of this building. The exterior of the building and the idea of doing an apartment like this in general is inspired by the Dakota apartment building in New York City. This is not a replica of the Dakota building in New York City. I didn't try to do a replica of it. And I rarely do try to do replicas of buildings because it just is too hard in game, I think, to do that a lot of times. But it was great inspiration for this sort of Gothic revival apartment building that you might have found, say, 100 years ago, around the turn of the century, the turn of the 20th century, 19th to 20th century, or around kind of up to about the 1920s. I actually kind of think about this building as sort of a 1920 build, right? Something maybe opened in 1920 in New York City to live in. That's my thought. Okay, so that's kind of the background on that. I'm going to take this out of tab mode here. One thing I noticed while I was looking at this is I do need to add a few things to the exterior, not very much. And my goal is to really get into working on this penthouse more than the exterior. Put my cheats in here real quick. Most people know these cheats by now, but if you don't, you can always pause the video and kind of look at the full cheat. And this is going to allow me to put objects wherever I want. It unlocks the items that are locked behind gameplay, so stuff that you get in your careers and stuff like that. And then show hidden objects just shows hidden objects, right? That's pretty self-explanatory. But stuff like sort of the collectible stuff, gems, crystals, whatever, right? Sort of the collectible stuff. That's usually all I put in. You hit Control-Shift-C, that opens that little box and closes it that you just saw there. So we've got those in now. And what was I doing? Oh, yeah. We're going to put this. Let me get down here. Sort of this new gargoyle looking thing, right? There we go. Like that. Do. Hope I've got those the right size. I think I do. Yeah, I think they're the same size on each side. I really would have liked to have gotten maybe something a little scarier, right, as the gargoyles. The llamas are kind of cute, right? The llamas are more cute than scary. I would love to see something like this. That's why I use this as kind of a gargoyle type of thing here, is because I wanted something kind of a little more like frightening, a little more eerie, a little more Gothic, right? Real life Gothic. But we do have these. If you have the Vampires pack, Realm of Magic, the Morocco pack to some extent, and Star Wars, Journey to Batuu, a lot of those items I've fallen back on with this castle kit to build this particular apartment. The other thing was down here. I'm supposed to have bushes all around the exterior here. I don't know what happened with this. We'll put them there. Whoops. I'll probably have to go back and adjust those some here later so they don't clip through the wall into our first floor apartment down there. Okay, so this is our penthouse right here, this entire top floor. You can see it's very sizable. It's not really as big as a real penthouse might have been or would be in this day and age. There we go. That's a little bit more on center. Real penthouse would probably be bigger than this. The one thing where I think it's too small, I've started doing a little bit of decorating here. I did kind of frame out sort of an entry hall here. This is supposed to represent a cage elevator. Let me go down here a little bit. So this is supposed to represent a cage elevator, and I might put some sort of block on the entryway here, right? So that it looks like there's a gate pulled across it. The other thing I might do, I have not done this yet, I thought about looking up an old mod that allowed elevators to actually be functional on standard residential lots. Now, I have like a little build trick that doesn't require a mod that will allow me to place an elevator on this lot, but it does not work. It's just good for decoration. So my thought is to see if that mod is still current and if it still works. And if it does, I'm going to go ahead and put elevators on each floor so that they can be used. Now, the bad thing is if someone downloads this build and they don't have that mod, the elevators will not work. So they do have to get the mod, or again, it's just going to be a decorative feature. It's just going to look like an elevator. The one area where I wish I had a little more room is back here. This is the staff, or 100 years ago, they would call it the servants area. I've only got one small bedroom to represent that with two twin beds, kind of an open closet there, and a very small bathroom. And then a place for staff to sit and eat, maybe hang out, a little bit of a break area here off the kitchen. In reality, for a large penthouse in New York, there'd probably be a couple of staff rooms, and they might even be up on the floor above the penthouse, kind of in these dormer areas, right, in the roof. But we're not going to go through all that trouble. We're going to just leave this one as representative of, I guess if you hire a butler, this is the butler's room, right? Lucky him. Now, here is where we're really going to get started. I think we'll start over here on this side. I've already kind of mapped it out. So we're going to have this entry hall. And the way this works, the way this penthouse works is you come into the entry hall, that area, let me give myself a little more slack here with my cord. This area is the public space of the house. So if you're a salesman, if you're something like that, this is probably as far as you're going to get to meet with the homeowner or maybe the household manager is here. And then as you move outward from here, over here, we'd enter like a library, well, kind of an office. I think we'll put the office here. Again, because if you're in sales or you're here for business, you might step into this area, which is kind of an office with a library over here and the living room here. And then coming this direction, we're going to have a sort of like a club room almost, like a bar area and a dining room, which again would be where maybe closer friends, other family members to the people who live in this penthouse, they would make it this far. They would get back here and they would give back, over here. And then the family themselves, and really close outside extended family, could go back further into the house, right? So the closer you are to the family, it expands your reach within the home. And this is what would be called basically a morning room that you would use in the morning, right? So you'd have maybe breakfast here, a sort of living room to hang out in during the day, maybe a little private office back here for the family members. And this would be a much more private area. And then leading from there, of course, we have the extremely private areas. These are 2 small bedrooms, the smaller bedrooms for family members, and the master suite of rooms, master bedroom, master closet, master bath. So you can kind of get a feel there of how exactly this is laid out, where the closer you are to the family, the more deeper into the apartment you're allowed to go. Okay. Now on this side, as I said, I think we'll go ahead and we're going to do an office here. And that's what we're going to start with. We'll do an office here. Now, the big thing where I'm a little bit stuck is obviously this is a penthouse. It's got nice floors, right? It's got a nice Moroccan themed bathroom. We want everything here to be a little more upscale. So when it comes to putting in wall coverings, I don't necessarily want to do stone. We did do stone out here in a sort of Gothic revival, neo-Gothic sort of style. I don't want to carry that through the whole house like it's a theme park. So I feel like we need something that speaks to the Gothic idea without being necessarily like a theme park, right? Now we do have something like this right off the bat. We've got this sort of stuff from, vampires. It's a little bit darker than I was thinking, but it does work really well for an office and a library because it's got this heavily paneled look. And then maybe we could do a step down from that here in the living room. I don't know that we have a step down for that color-wise. I don't think we really do. Maybe this would be a little bit lighter. It is a different tone, but hard to say. I'm gonna be a little kind of perplexed there. Now we could do that too, but that I think clashes with that. And we can look for something totally different. I think what we'll do is we're going to go with this so far, this sort of stuff out here. And that will be a good start to our office. Now, already out here in the entryway, let me go down here so we can take a look at it. You can see I did put ceiling tiles up here, and I just replicated the floor on the ceiling. I mean, I wanted a coffered ceiling type of look, like a wooden coffered ceiling. We don't have anything like that really in flooring tiles. So I thought, well, hell, let's just use this. We could do the same thing in here. I wouldn't mind something a little bit richer on the ceiling in here. My thought is, though, at the moment, to just go with it. And, not worry about it, right? Might even go ahead and put it in the living room. And then even if we use something a little cooler on the walls, I think the ceiling tile will help tie these spaces together, keep them from being too different from one another. Okay, so as I was doing all of that, I was thinking, where will we put the desk? Where will we maybe put a little area to sit and sign, contracts, things like that? Naturally, where should we put the desk? Probably right here in front of the window. It's going to be a little bit of kind of an expected spot, but I think it works. Let's see here. The only bad thing is I don't really want to cover up the window now that I go to do it. So maybe something else. We've got a little secretary style desk here. I think I will use that in that area. That's from, werewolves. Give a nice rich color. I love the distressed versions of this, but I'm glad that they did give us at least some versions that look relatively new, right? So that we can use it in standard builds. Now there is a really kind of heavy duty desk in here. Like this thing, we've got that. We've got something kind of like this. And we've got this, this has a little bit of a sort of castle-y type of feel, kind of. And maybe one way to keep it from blocking the window would be to turn it like this. And then put the chair behind it. So that way, if you're meeting with this guy, you're going to maybe set over to the side here or here. Maybe. Let's for now, let's do that. We'll take these two out. I'm going to center that a little bit more on the wall. I have to eyeball it, but that's okay. And then over here, we'll put in a couple of chairs. I think I want to pick chairs that will match what we're going to end up having in the living room, again, to help tie all these rooms together. So let's do... This is probably going to be the tough part because we want something that's kind of Gothic, but not too Gothic and not too modern and looks comfortable and expensive. We do have this. I think I've used this already someplace else in this build. But it's a great chair. I did use it somewhere, but it is kind of a great chair. I wonder where I put this. Let me look out here real quick. I don't really know where I used it, but I did use it somewhere. So I'm going to go ahead and use this in here as well. Maybe. That color looks kind of like it doesn't. I like the flowers on it, but the color is not really... I'm not sure the tone fits with the darker tone of the wood in here. Okay, well, we're going to leave it. We'll see what else we've got. Now, we do have stuff like this. This is almost a little bit too modern, though. Although it's got a little... Could it almost pass for Art Deco, which would be, like I said, this is supposed to be a building built in the opened around 1920. Could it almost pass for Art Deco? Well, almost. I think it almost could, but let's see if we've got something else. We do have these. These are pretty good. This is a good example of where I think Realm of Magic works really well with this kind of Gothic-y look. Let's put this here. And I do think that might be what we stick with. I'm going to need a couple of dining room chairs, of course, one for each desk. Those chairs are going to have to match the chairs that will be coming up in the library portion of this space. I love this chair too. What I don't love is the blanket on the back of it. I just don't feel like you're going to come into a formal office area of a penthouse and the chair is going to have a blanket on the back. So we won't use that. But I love the style of it in that high back, wing back sort of style. It's a really nice chair. That's where Max just drives me a little crazy sometimes when they decide to go ahead and like decorate things for me like that. Like, here you go, Jason, we'll make it easy. We're going to throw a blanket right here for you. Like, I I didn't ask Maxis for a blanket. I like this chair though too. Let me tell you right now, this looks really good. This does look kind of what. Yeah, I think we're gonna use this. And I think these little chairs from Realm of Magic, I'm gonna use them more back here in the family area because they do feel maybe a little more sort of not exactly casual, but maybe a little more cozy, right? A little more intimate. And I'm going to put these sort of formalish, high back sort of wingback chairs here. And I love the orange on that. Well, I love the color orange anyway. You might have guessed that. I'm wearing an orange shirt today, but I do really like the color orange. And even though it's probably not any easier to match orange in game than any other color, I feel like it is because I like the color, right? So maybe it's just easier for me to match it to stuff. So I'll put those there. And then what I really need is some place to sign like contracts and stuff like that. And I do, yes, thank you, Megan. Yay for orange. I love orange. Orange is one of my favorites. It is a big, and I didn't used to be one of my favorites. Blue still is one of my favorite colors. But the mother of a friend of mine gave me an orange shirt once, and I think she only did it because orange was the color of this like collegiate sports team, right? Which I don't even care about college sports, but I think that's why she did it. But then I love the way the orange looks so much; it became a favorite color, and I found that the more I used it, the more I liked it. Now we're going to grab ourselves a couple of chairs here somewhere, somehow. This is what I probably would have used if I used those other chairs for this area. Since I didn't, we'll see if we can pick something else here. We do have this. Now this is also orange. That looks pretty good for that chair, for that desk. I think I'm going to leave that for now. I've used this chair so much since that pack came out. It does remind me of sunsets, especially. And I'm a very sunny person. I love the sun. Sunrises as well. So yeah, I agree. It does give me that sort of impression as well. I think I'm going to, though, as much as I like those, I think we're going to use this out here. If I have a color that I think is going to work out here. I'm going to go with this for now. This room is getting kind of dark, but a library back in this era probably would have been fairly dark. Kind of masculine in tone. I'm going to save these chairs here in the other room, in the living room, because I do think we will find some use for them. Let's put those down there as well. Okay, so we've got kind of the owner of the house desk here. Maybe this is where people would sign various contracts and stuff. They consider it the little secretary's desk. Let's grab a yeah, finding the colors. I'm going to tell you what, the one thing that I've mentioned this over and over, I'm going to keep mentioning it forever because I don't want Maxis to ever forget, is the create a style system from Sims 3. I loved that. I used it all the time. I love for things to match. I love to be able to create a style, right? I'm an architect of the Frank Lloyd Wright era, where the architect built the house, built the furniture, built everything. Everything when you walk through the door was one particular man's vision, right? And The Sims 3 really did allow that. You could literally just make anything when it came to color and pattern and style. And like I could change this chair so easy into a purely modern chair by changing the fabric into like a shiny metallic fabric and, steel legs, something like that. So that's what I miss most of all, because it really was easy to dye to match, so to speak. Now let's see here. We have old trusty. This one has gotten used so much in my life to sort of base game fancy table. I do like it. We're probably going to end up falling back on that. I will not be surprised if that's what I end up using, simply because, well, we could use this. And especially being kind of a library office area, we could use, the storage there of those drawers. I mean, they don't actually work. We won't actually use them. But I think in real life, you would put different, I don't know, maps in it or something. Hell, I don't know. Do. And we will take a look here at our different options for a light or something for that table. I'm going to put this over here. Thought it would go up there, but I guess not. I guess we'll turn it like that. Now, I'm going to maybe use this here. Or, well, we could use that, and I think it would work in the living room really well, but this is another lamp that I wish I could just change the colors around on, because I do like the shape, and it's got, so much promise, right? It's a great lamp, but it just won't quite work. We got this one. I'm gonna go with that for now. Again, it's a little bit Art Deco, but we are kind of into that sort of feel with this room. I never have enough rugs. I will say that. I always feel like I'm constantly looking for something to use rug-wise, and I tend to use the same rugs over and over. I do have this. I really would like to find something that's going to kind of fill up this whole space here. Okay, maybe this stuff. That does, it does fill up the space when you make it double size pretty well. Blow it up one here. For now, let's call that good. We're going to leave that like that. And actually, this office looks pretty good. I really just don't think that we need a lot in here. The only thing I could imagine is maybe, so we really don't, I was going to say maybe we need someplace else to sit here, maybe a little table or something, but we really don't, because we are going to go ahead and put, a massive library over here with a long table and chairs. So it's going to help expand the usability of that office. So let's grab ourselves some bookshelves. Some nice bookshelves like you're going to find in a really wealthy person's home, right? Like these. It's kind of bigger than I want, but would there be any way to make it work? Maybe. We're going to put that there for now. We could use this sort of thing. That's an option. This is very cool, very law type of bookshelf for law books. Do. Now, what I'm looking for, obviously, is something I wanted to match. That's why we might end up falling back on Realm of Magic, because these two would match, and then I could put, single units here on either side of the door, and then this double unit over here, or triple unit. Oh, but we do have this. That actually looks pretty good from Strangerville, and it fills up that whole space. That there. And it's got a pretty nice kind of wealthy look to it. Considering it's coming from Strangerville, which is kind of like some backwater rural community. We're going to get a little bit of stutter off that, as you can see there where they intersect. For now, I'm going to separate them like this, but I'm keeping my eye on the tool mod. If it gets updated, I might go ahead and put those back together and then fix the stutter with the tool mod. I think it looks pretty nice. It is coming along pretty well here. We're going to do some here on the other side. This is like a rich person's library with a whole bunch of stuff they probably never read, right? With a whole bunch of stuff they never read because, who would read all these books? Nobody. There's too many there. I'm going to take that out. Yeah, I was going to check. Was there another update again last night? I don't know. I don't even pay attention to the updates. My game is broken. If anybody's wondering, my game is broken at least on some lots, and in places and times. When I try to leave build mode, the game just crashes. Just crashes to my desktop. So, So was it tool mod that updated or the game? I guess it was tool mod, right? Because I didn't see the game update. So I guess it must be tool mod that updated. But yeah, it crashes to the desktop. So what I save it, of course, before I leave build mode, I save it. And then when I leave build mode, it just crashes and I reopen it and go in and play my sim, right? But it's a bitch trying to play test anything. I mean, I have to go in and basically play test it, make a list of the things I feel like I need to fix, go in and fix them all, save it, crash it, come back in and see if it works. See if what I did fixed it, right? And that has been insane. And it's ironic because I actually was commenting just not that long ago how stable The Sims 4 was, and I see it was tool mod. That's awesome. I'm gonna pull it up then. I was commenting how stable The Sims 4 was, and how that was one great thing you could say about The Sims 4, because in The Sims 3, I was constantly saving my game because it would just crash and da 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 da. And what happens? I get in this thing and it crashes. So I may have jinxed the entire game and broken it for everybody. I don't know, maybe. If I did, I'm sorry. I apologize. Okay, we're going to see. This is something I will have to test. This may be too close to these bookshelves to be usable. Now, we don't really need to use every chair here because this is not a dining room. But yes, I mean, I have to hit save constantly. When I first discovered this issue, I've been building for a couple hours on live stream, and I ended the stream and I went into, exit to live mode. and it crashed and I lost everything I built through those stream. I was so mad. Oh my God, I was mad. I'm still mad. Even just thinking about it makes me mad. Let's find a nice sofa to put in here. Or, we could do a couple of chairs in here. Let's see. Let's do a couple of these orange chairs over here in the corner. So if you come in here and for whatever reason you just want to read and not take it to one of the other, 15 rooms in your house to read, you want to read here for some reason, right here today in this place, then we're going to put a big comfy chair here for you to read on. The one thing I don't like about this design right now is there's not really room in it for a fireplace. That's what I'm thinking right this minute. And one thing I might do is scoot this wall in to the living room, put a fireplace here instead of the arch, and then put openings on each side of the fireplace coming into the library. And then the fireplace would be here by this long table, sort of study table. So it would look more like that. Gives us a little more room there. But I wouldn't need those. Take that out. Because if I do put a fireplace here, I mean, the thing I don't like about putting a fireplace there is that I'm not going to be able to use this particular archway to go back and forth between the library and the living room. But I may just have to sacrifice that. Maybe I could put it here, put the fireplace here. But it does kind of go against my grain. Yeah, save now. I will save here in a second. You're right. That's a good idea. Well, I can remember playing The Sims 3 and we would have that chat, the social feature where you could see chat while you were in game playing. And there was a guy that was always like every 20 minutes, like, okay, save everybody. Okay, save everybody. So yeah, that's a good idea. So what do I do? Do I go ahead and maybe we put this here or here maybe? And then I could bring some chairs, like the chairs over here like this. That's kind of tight, a little bit tighter than I like, but we could do it that way. Maybe if I move that a little bit. And then we could put the fireplace right here. Let's give it a shot real quick. It can always be changed in the future if I decide we don't like it. Now, I want something really grand, right? Of course I do, for the fireplace. So this is about the grandest thing we have, except for this. This is super cool, right? This Realm of Magic one, super, super cool. The only thing wrong with it is it's too Art Nouveau for a Gothic revival. And the wood on this fireplace doesn't really match any of the rest of the wood in the room. Maybe if we take it a little darker, we could just do it in white. For now, I'll leave it as kind of a brown like that there. And we'll go ahead and grab a coffee table. And one thing I like to do with fireplaces like that, and we'll basically try this out too, Megan, is we'll go ahead and just put one on this other side and give the impression of maybe a double-sided fireplace, or at least a fireplace that utilizes the same flue up through the center of the house. And I tried to place these kind of where I thought I might put fireplaces outside, right? They're not going to match up exactly, but maybe it'll be close enough. And one thing I sometimes do, and we might do it here, we might not. Sometimes I'll put a mirror here behind this. And I mostly do this with more modern builds, typically. But, I put a mirror back there. And then when there's fire in here, it looks like you're seeing the fire on the other side as well. So it does kind of heighten that effect of a see-through fireplace, a double-sided see-through fireplace. Like I said, I typically do that with especially modern builds. That's a pretty modern concept, but I might do it here. I did it downstairs in an apartment for this build, so I might do it here as well. Let's just put one on the other side. It's kind of funny because, I mean, only you as a player is really going to see that or probably care or know, but it's just a nice little detail to kind of fool the eye, but again, you have to be practically down on the floor to see it, but I like it. I know it's there. It is a little bit of a nice trick, nice little build, like fool the eye type of trick. Let's see here. Now we could, I guess we will. Let's use the exact same table as we used out here. Put it in here. This is another area I have to play test, make sure he can get in and light the fireplace with these chairs here. I think, that's my famous last words, I think they can. It has nothing to do with reality, my thinking something though, so it probably won't work, but hey, I think it might. I've done it before, stuff like that, but I probably had to move it around a little bit. Now we're going to look for the sofa that matches that chair. Now here's another example again. Like I've mentioned this before, I'm going to mention it again. I love this sofa. I love it. It is so gorgeous. Such a beautiful sofa. The only thing that ruins it is these pillows and that throw. Because it is great for a family look or a casual look, but this is a formal house with like two staff, right? 2 servants in the kitchen. In general, they live here. So all they do is put shit like that away, right? They're going to put the blanket away when you're done with it. They're going to do all this stuff. So it makes me a little bit crazy, but oh well. That's a lot bigger than I thought it was. I thought that was going to be smaller. And in fact, that's too big. We're going to have to go with more of a love seat look. And I don't think there's a love seat that exactly matches those chairs from University. So let's see what we do have. We do have this. Now, this is kind of cool. It might not be in a color that will work for us. Is there a brown, maybe? That's pretty. And it's in a black. I'm going to try this real quick. It's kind of almost too exaggerated, though. See how it kind of dominates this chair? Like, really dominates that chair? We're going to take that out. It looked good in the picture. The thumbnail looks really good. Totally dig the thumbnail, you guys. Okay, let's see here. Now, we can use this, and I've used this furniture already in this build. Let's see here. It does come in kind of an orange here. We've got this. Let's see. That was a huge couch, right? Like I didn't know it was that big. And yes, definitely give us blankets and pillows we can put on our own furniture. And leave it off. Leave it off, Max's. Leave it blank. Leave it blank. I kind of feel, sometimes I do use them, but I feel the same way by and large about like shelves that are pre-decorated. So you have a shelving unit and you stick it on the wall and it's already full of crap. Now, sometimes it works out fine because maybe it's the sort of crap I would have put on there myself. But probably 8 times out of 10, it's not really what I would have done myself. I just go ahead and kind of accept it as an inevitability, you know. Let's see here. Possum's eating straight up bread. Possums probably do eat a lot of bread if you leave the loaf out at your campsite, right? Let's see here. Surfaces. I think we should put some sort of table here next to the couch, next to this love seat. Yeah, that's what I want too. I just want individual pottery, individual bowls, individual bases, and things that actually fit on the shelves. Since there's really kind of not a lot that does fit on the shelf. I mean, really, there's so many things that I just have to put on with move objects on, because otherwise it doesn't just fit as a natural course of events. I'm kind of looking for, again, just some sort of little table. I guess we could use something like this, but it's really too big. I may not be able to put much of a table over here by this, by the love seat. We don't have a lot of tables that fit in a small space like that. There is this, although it is fairly modern, and it's kind of stretching the Art Deco label to say, oh, well, in the 20s, maybe they would have bought it, maybe, to include in this room. I think I'm going to leave it. Do I think you should wear, like PJs? Possum PJs? I think you should wear whatever you want. I'm a firm believer in wear whatever you want. I mean, frankly, I don't even care if people run around naked. You know, I mean, I don't think it's that big a deal anymore. If you really want to see someone naked, there's plenty of opportunities online. So, you know, all those hang-ups about nudity can probably just go out the window. I'm not going to run around naked. I'm not going to run around naked because I don't work out that much. But I'm going, you know, if someone else wants to run around naked, go ahead, be my guest. So yeah, wear whatever you want. Wear it all. Wear anything. Let me see here. I'm gonna put these little plants in here for now. I don't love this area. I don't love this vignette, but for the moment, I'm gonna leave it, and we'll see. We'll see what I come up with. I think you could put on a possum profile pic. Sure, why not? I really think you should do what you want. I mean that as serious as a heart attack. As long as it's just you, as long as it's not hurting anybody, you know. Who's going to get hurt by a possum pic? No one. Let's see here. Now I've got kind of a blue rug in there. So, could do that. That maybe. That's not too bad. That looks good. I love these rugs. We got these for vampires, and then again with Realm of Magic, where you can kind of overlap them and create a much longer rug if you want to do a huge runner down the hall or something. I really do like those. They could put a new one of those pretty much in every single pack. I think it was just a brilliant idea. Now, we are on here to the living room. I still have not picked out any sort of wall covering, right? Right. So, I don't know what we're going to use here. Again, I'm going to go ahead and take a look at this stuff and see, can we... I mean, we can use the exact same stuff I've used already, but I would really like to bring that down, kind of bring it down in tone a little bit. Let's see what other wood we have here. We've got... I don't know. I don't, you did it, huh? Well, good. Good for you. Awesome, awesome. You've just made us step into a much larger world. There you go. Let me see. What about this stuff? This is not bad. It's a little, in fact, it's really not bad at all. You know, it's got a great kind of look here. The one thing I really don't like, of course, is we can't change the inside of the window color either, because in reality, I'd make it brown to match this wood here, but that's okay. Now, I've just, let's go with this particular wall pattern, and I might move it over and use it in the dining room area as well. And I think we can use that giant sofa, right, that matches these chairs from university here in front of the fireplace. Because I do like it. I do want to use it. I think it looks really, really good. And it really fits this sort of build. It's got a kind of an upscale, like old money, because it's an old look. But it's an old look in that it's not a thrift store look. It's the sort of piece of furniture that like probably cost a fortune when someone first bought it, but then it lasts literally forever, right? And it's like you pass it down to your grandkids and stuff when you're dead, because it's that good of a piece of furniture in, as far as construction goes. Does this come in a blue? Maybe we could kind of tie the blue together a little bit in here. It does. I don't love it though, so we're gonna take that out. Let's put these maybe here. In fact, you know what I'm gonna do? Let's take this here. Let's go ahead and just turn this. We've got quite a bit of space here to work with compared to what I would normally put, you know, for a living room. We might put these back over here. Not really like that, but we'll pull it out like this, like this. I put this maybe over here. I would love to do this wingback in more of a contrasting color to that orange. I'm just gonna have to kind of decide what color. And I don't think it's that blue. I don't. And it's not that green either. We could go with red. White. Megan, they may just throw it out. I think they're probably going to throw it out. I'd throw it out if it was all chewed up. I don't know. I'll tell you this. If it was like really good construction, you know, had really good work, like the wood wasn't chewed up, just the fabric and the stuffing was chewed up, and it was really good, kind of wood and construction, I might keep it simply because sometimes furniture nowadays kind of isn't very good construction. So it might be worth just having reupholstered as opposed to tossing. But reupholstering is kind of a hassle and it's really expensive. So, you know, yeah, I might toss it. I might put it in a garage sale, something like that. Of course, if it's chewed up, probably not very many people in a garage sale are going to want it. Now that I think about it. Is black horrible? Let me see here. I already got rid of that chair. I'll show you here in the velvet red. You know, I don't know. I mean, and there's the black. That's black. That's red. There was something about every other color that I felt like, well, I just don't think it's going to work. Now, maybe what I should do is change the color of the sofas. And then it would keep all of these orange chairs the same color, kind of within these tied together spaces. Like that. And then I think we could put maybe one of these chairs here. And one there. That's a little tight right there, but I think it's okay. I turn it at an angle. Turn this one at an angle. Okay. And then instead of having these over here, I might put a plant here where that chair is, and we'll put these chairs over here to create a little place to sit, I guess, and talk, right? This is kind of the party side of the house because it is up front. So my thought when I arranged this big open space with no doors, right, it just flows from room to room to room, was that then when you have parties, and that's why there's like 4 bathrooms here, right? So that when you have parties, people would be able to spread out through this whole space. So we could use a lot of we do need a lot of places to sit. That's the word I'm looking for. Might move that in a little bit, but then no, let's leave it alone. We need some coffee tables real quick and occasional tables. These. I love this. I use it too much, but I do love it. It's got a great look. I like angles as well. I like to put stuff on the angle. Grandmas do make the best cookies. Although I gotta be honest, pretty much any cookie does win me. Any cookie does win me, wins the game for me. Someone asked me once what my favorite pie was. I said all of them are my favorite pie. I don't think I haven't ever eaten a pie that I didn't like. I mean, I really do like, I mean, it's fruit or something like fruit and sugar and, crust, carbs. How are you not going to like that? It's just perfect. We've got this here from Morocco. Looks pretty good. I could do a big coffee table here in the middle. Oh, I'm good at interacting. I do try to be good at interacting. I finally got it figured out where I can put my chat on my screen, right? It really wasn't hard to do. I was just too lazy to set it up. But I did finally get it set up, and it does make it easier for me to glance up and kind of see that anything's even going on in chat. Let's see. I'm going to use this. Let's go ahead and use this back over here. And we did use Moroccan stuff in the entryway. Maybe I should use that big Moroccan table out here. Let me see here. For now, I think I will. I'm going to put this here. I almost never use these giant sized tables like this because, well, I just don't build a room big enough to hold something this size. We'll use that. That looks pretty good. Well, and I did that for a while where I used 2 computers, but that was the thing. I had one even just right here, like literally off just to this side. I'm looking right at this screen and I get so focused on, especially when I'm building, I get so focused on, what I'm doing right here that there's nothing else in the world. So I knew there was a way I could put chat on my main screen. Like I said, I just hadn't, and I don't think you guys can even see it. Only I can see it, so it doesn't get in the way of the game, right? It doesn't get in the way of the game. So that's cool too. Cookies. I might make some cookies. I think I will put some candles on them. I was just looking here at some of this, centerpieces. I think we might do this here. Whoops, it's not what I want to do. There we go. And I think I'm going to do this one in blue. And then there's like some great stuff in game. Let's take a look here at our lighting. So we've got this. This is pretty cool. It doesn't really fit the build exactly. And then we've got stuff like this. This kind of skirts the edge of it, I think. It is a little casual and it's definitely a little modern, but it does have a really cool look. It's got candles and books and it's a tray. I thought there's this. Let's see here. Oh, I think I like that one better. You know, the sort of teapot here has a little bit of an exotic feel to it, and it looks a little bit like we're about to serve tea. See what kind of colors we've got to work with. We have a blue. Blue's perfect. Bring in a little bit more blue into these rooms. And I'm going to just make sure that there isn't anything else here. I don't think there is. Oh, we've got this. This is tough because this really does kind of fit the time period. But I'm still going to go with this. This has a little bit more whimsy and a little more fantasy to it. And we have been using some Moroccan stuff in here. So I do think we've got a little bit of that sort of feel, right? Let's see here. I need another rug. I've never actually done a stream in Discord. You know, they did one the other day. The Sims did. They had a lot of issues with it, but I've never tried it. I'm sure it's fine. I don't know what their issues really were with it, and I couldn't watch the whole thing. I had to go. I was at work, so I don't know if they actually got that sorted or not. But hopefully they did. Oh, I kind of like that. Let's put it over here. See if we can find a different rug for here. There should be some square rugs in this mess. And there are, but I don't know that any of them are really going to work. Okay, I'm not going to spend too long. If I can't find one, I'll just let it go for now. We don't have to have a rug there, but it would make more sense. Now, we do have something like this. It might, you know, it's a little modern. Let's see if it fits the space, though. It does fit the space better. That actually kind of works too. I wonder if this comes in a style here that we can live with, right? That looks pretty good. I've used this rug quite a bit. This is from Growing Together. We're going to use that version right there. It's from Growing Together, and it is an excellent rug. I do really, 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 really like it. I don't think that'll fit there, but we will go ahead and grab one of these Realm of Magic bookshelves. We'll put it here on the other side. You know, and I've done that sometimes. That's true. We can make one with carpet. I wish we had a little more choices in our carpet. Something, I don't have a picture of it, of course, but I have a carpet downstairs that I made a rug out of carpet, out of wall-to-wall carpeting, and just had it bound, like bordered and bound. So something like that would be a little more patterned than what we typically get in our carpet options. Well, you know, Possum, there is an area for drama in this house. Every room is an area for a possible drama in this house because every room, a sim can flirt with another sim, and then that's it. All hell breaks loose, and we end up with some sort of drama going on, that's for sure. Let's see here. I'm going to do a couple of sofa back tables here if I can, like this. This is good. This will work. We'll put one back here. I'm going to just eyeball it so it fits better. I'll put one here. And we're going to grab a couple of lamps real quick and we'll throw up on these tables as well. What have we got? I'm thinking something like this, you know, Tiffany style. And maybe we will go ahead. I'll tell you what, if I get some Sims moved into this place, we'll see if we can stir up some drama with them. Because I will eventually have to move someone in here to play test, you know. But you can have drama in this room. This is a very dramatic room. In fact, I'll tell you what, this room would be, this house, this apartment, it wouldn't be a bad place. It needed a little bit of modifications, but it wouldn't actually be a bad clue house or clue-do house, as they call it, you know, like over in Britain and stuff, because you definitely could do a lot of drama in here. A lot of people could die, that's for sure. Okay, so that's not too bad. Let's see if I'm going to put some books here on the backs of these tables. What have we got? What have we got? I feel like there should be elephants in here. Do we not have elephants? Like elephant bookends? I mean, we got the polar bears. I know that. And those are very cool. We've got that. And I know these little potted plants. Maybe this is what I'm thinking of, and it's bunnies. I don't. Oh, there they are, right there. Okay, there we go. That's what I'm looking for. And we're going to do that in blue as well to keep that kind of pop of color going. And then I think back here on this area, let's go ahead and just put some plants in for now. I might go through decorations and see if maybe there is something that will end up working as in addition. But plants are so easy to grab and put down. I'm going to tell you something too. It's pretty realistic. Especially when I was young, that's some of the cheapest decorating you can do for your house is to go out, buy, well, it used to be anyway. I haven't bought a house plant in a long time, but you know, you go out, you buy a couple of house plants, line them up by the window, voila, instant decor. Everything looks gorgeous. Everyone's going to ooh and ah when they come over to see it. And it kind of gives you something to do. Like when you don't have very much money, when you're young and you can't afford to go out as much, and so you're just stuck at home, right? It does kind of give you something you can do. You can take care of those damn plants, right? Make sure they don't die. And I did. I make light of it, but I actually had a really good time taking care of plants. I always thought it was a lot of fun, and I had them for a long time. Eventually, you know, they will die. Do. Some play bread. Now, no bread for me. I'm off carbs this week, right? Now let's put in a big picture here. The Hunger Games might be good for this house. I've never done the Hunger Games challenge. I have done Clue. I've done like the Clue-Do or Clue game inside a penthouse actually in San Myshuno, and played it through until like everybody was dead except for one person, and that's the person obviously who did it, right? Do. What do we have here that's going to work? We have this, good old standby. We can make it big, and I don't think it's too crazy big. It just looks like a museum type of painting, which this is a penthouse. Hell, they probably have loaned this to a museum, right? They probably loaned this for exhibition in a museum before because it's some like old world masters painting. Let's go ahead and throw in a plant over here in the corner. I kind of hate putting plants in the corner. I love it in real life, but I kind of hate doing it in the game because they're going to clip through that wall. So we'll see what we can manage here. We have this. This wouldn't clip, but it's also not very big. I might put this here. Kind of by that chair there. And let's also make it blue. I know it comes in blue. So that's kind of what attracted me to that right off as soon as I saw it. I could remember it did come in blue, and that will kind of bring a little bit more blue into this room. Kind of keep kind of a theme going. Now, where is... Oh, we've got this. Yeah, I love this, but the footprint of it is really big. See how it's got 4 squares as a footprint? Those squares cause routing issues. So like if I put this here, chances are a sim's not going to want to cross anywhere there's a square. So they're always forever going to walk around the couch the other way, which looks unnatural. And they might even have trouble sitting in this chair. So I'm not going to use that. I would like to. It looks good. It does look good. And it's got that great sort of, oriental sort of pot on it, right? Which would really fit this particular sort of decor. Now we have this. This is a really great pot. Someone finally figured out we could put a giant pot on a small square. I don't know why they don't do it all the time. I really don't. I wish I knew why they just don't do this all the time. They don't seem to, and I don't know if they've done it since, the Moroccan pack. Trying to decide what clips less in this. And I think it all is just going to clip like crazy. I'm going to try this. Let me see here. Yeah, I'm getting some massive major clipping there. I'll look up the rules for Hunger Games. Maybe at some point I might do it. I somehow got out of the habit of doing that sort of stuff. And I think because I build so much, then I lose track of that sort of thing. I do try to do like storylines and stuff like that. Again, though, it just is really, really hard to keep it going because, the next thing you know, Maxis releases some new pack, right? And it's like, okay, well, let's go play this pack real quick, and I'll finish the storyline later. Oh, let's try. I'm going to just hope and pray that somehow they'll walk past that. I will play test it. I don't want it clipping through the building. So if they won't go past there, then I'll just take it out, do something else. Maybe put in like a statue or something like that. Now, let's take a look here. I'm going to turn off all the lights. Or not the lights. I'm going to turn off the sun. Let's turn off the sun here. And see what we end up with. Okay, so it's dark outside. The life of the party, I don't think... Is that a movie? Or is that also a challenge? If it's a challenge, I've not heard of it. But there's so many challenges, and I have not heard of a lot of them, so that would not be a huge surprise. But is it a challenge, Life of the Party? Let's see here. I've been using a lot of these Star Wars lights in these Neo-Gothic builds or Gothic revival. They work out actually pretty well. They also work very well in Asian-inspired builds. So we've got this kind of Art Deco. I use this in the entryway. We have this. This is pretty cool. I think that's too big. How about this version? Let's put, whoops. There we go. I want to see, does it really dominate the space? No, it looks fine. Oh, wait a minute. This says, do you think that I'm the life of the party? I don't know. I haven't been with you to a party yet. I would have to check that out. I thought you were talking about a challenge. Like there was probably a life of the party challenge. Like, I don't know, maybe the first person that doesn't die from like you make your Sims go to a party and like stay up all night and they just have to stay awake. And maybe there's only one bathroom and like 10 Sims and you make them constantly drink. And I don't know, something like that, no beds or nothing. And then as they all die, the last person who does not die is the life of the party, right? And they win. Is that a challenge? I don't know. It should be. If it's not, and you hear someone playing it, they got it here. You heard it here first. Life of the Party challenge. The last person standing at the party wins. Now we're going to go ahead and put in some light over here for this particular bookshelf. There are two ways to go about this. Sometimes I use, obviously picture perfect lighting. And then if you move it to a certain point, it does cause the entire bookshelf to kind of light up, as you can see there. And so you get a little bit of the effect of maybe the bookshelf being lit from the inside instead of the outside. Sometimes bookshelves have that lighting up above, so it shines down. That's really kind of what I was going for there. I'm going to do that. We're going to just leave it just like that. One thing we could have done if that didn't work is sometimes you can take this ambient light and you can arrange it in a certain way to get that same effect. Now in this case, as you can see, sometimes it bleeds over to the wall a lot, but if we move it into the cabinet itself, it's not too bad. It is pretty bright, but not too bad. We're going to take it out though and just keep our little light there. Yeah, I got that after the fact, Possum, that you were asking a different question. I glanced over and just kind of thought, oh, life of the party, that sounds like a really cool challenge. Okay, I get that. That would be so awesome. I do think it'd be kind of cool now that I think about it, and I might do it. I might just do that, be like, this is the life of the party challenge. Who's left? You want to win? You just have to survive, at an endless party until everyone else is dead. Okay, I think this looks pretty good. I was thinking about putting a little more light here, but I don't think we necessarily need it. A lot of times, living rooms are a little kind of shadowy, right? They're a little more kind of relaxed for the nighttime. Now, one thing I might do, and I do this all the time, is put in some uplighting here behind this plant to kind of spotlight that corner back there. Let's see if it works for us. Is it going to work? Shrink it down a little bit. So yeah, that looks pretty good. Highlight that corner, uplight the corner there. Now, we'll come in here real quick and see what kind of lighting do we have. We have just really this small light here. I'm going to put some sort of chandelier over this table, and since we're already using this particular chandelier, we might as well just stick with what works. We're going to put one of these in this room. And we're going to put one of them over here above the table, like so. We've got a light on this desk. I don't know that we need a light on this desk over here. And I don't know that there's room for a light on this desk over here and still have it work as a desk because it is so small. We're going to try real quick and see if this particular green light will go on here anywhere. I mean, it goes right there, right? But can we put an actual computer there? Since this is the 1920s, we're going to put that computer there. I love that computer. To me, it was worth buying cottage living just to get, that computer. We're not going to use a light there. We'll just put that computer there, and we're going to put the same computer over here on this desk, like so. Let's put, maybe something over here. My first thought is we could put some sort of lighting over here, right? But some sort of wall-mounted lighting, I guess, is the word I should use. But I say, yeah, we should put some lighting over here. That'd be a good idea. Let's try maybe... Oh, this. We'll use this. I've used this a lot through this build. It has a very kind of... Again, it has a little bit of an Art Nouveau feel, but I think that we can use it pretty safely with this sort of neo-Gothic sort of vibe, right? I do think that it's got, somehow to me, it has enough of a feel of the Gothic era and Realm of Magic and stuff like that, that I do feel like it kind of works somehow, and I've been using it quite a bit. Let's see here. Let's go with... Got that. Let's go with that. Then that gives us a little light over here and kind of gives us a little interest for our light. Let's see if we make it a little bit smaller because it's kind of big there. And we'll go with that. Now, right now, it looks like we have got pretty much this area of our penthouse done. I would say I do like it pretty well. I'm going to run out of rugs. I'm going to end up probably replicating these rugs in other rooms, just using the same rug. But not too bad. Yeah, I'd say it's pretty good. Okay, so next time, please hit like, subscribe, and notify. I am going to take a break for now. I'm going to go fix my lunch, some sun. Step to reverse it. I'm going to go fix my son some lunch and do some laundry, do some dishes, do all the things I have to do on the weekend as a dad. And we will do the dining room and kind of a bar lounge in this area coming up later this afternoon in a couple of hours. And I think depending on how long this takes, might try to do this, connector hallway here that leads back here to the more private family morning room where they hang out during the morning and during the day, doing just family type stuff. You're welcome, Megan. Thank you so much for being here. A Sims cult. Every Sims family and Sims setup is a Sims cult, I think. But Possum, have a good day. Megan, Joe, have a good day. Anybody else that's watching, please hit like, subscribe, and notify. We will be back later. We will get our dining room and our lounge taken care of. And until then, as always, thanks for watching.